Téléspectateurs à l'ITV, une autre fois encore, c'est avec un peu de plaisir que moi vais entrer la carrière pour nous faire un petit parler. Jeudi, nous allons recevoir sur Island TV le lieutenant-gouverneur Carlos Lopez Cantera, qui est en poste, qui occupe le poste de vice-gouverneur dans Florida. Nous allons faire un petit parler avec lui jeudi, ou allons connaître qui est lié. Et nous allons faire un petit parler tout de carrière, de ça, lui accompli déjà dans carrière comme un politicien dans Florida, dans state Florida. Governor,
thank you for having me, Abed.
Yes, welcome to Island TV.
Thank you. It's an honor.
I made some research about you. You were not born in the United States. Was that an accident?
I was born in Madrid, Spain. I like to say I was born in Madrid, Spain, but I was made in Miami.
Okay.
My parents were on vacation, so I was born several months premature, stayed there until I was healthy enough to come back to my intended birthplace of Miami, and I was raised in Miami all my life and went to school here, went to the University of Miami. I am a very proud native son of Miami-Dade County.
Lieutenant Governor, you are the first Hispanic American to hold this position.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a Lieutenant Governor?
It's a tremendous honor. First to have been appointed by Governor Scott when he had a vacancy and he needed to fill the spot, and then to have the election with him in 2014 and be successful. It's a tremendous honor, tremendous responsibility. This position, this job has been incredible in the sense that it has allowed me to see all of Florida, the real Florida, and experience Florida. When I was in the state legislature, though I represented parts of Miami-Dade County, the policies that we addressed affected all of Florida. So you knew about Florida, but it's different to hear about things and talk about policies as it is to actually be in the different communities. So I have traveled from Pensacola through Panama City, Tallahassee, obviously, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, Sarasota, Naples, and Palm Beach, Broward, Dade, and the Keys as well. And this is a beautiful state. It's an extremely diverse state. And it's just, there's so much that this state has to offer, and we're very proud of the progress we've made since the recession here in Florida. We are doing very, very well.
I know you're not new in politics. You know, you have been on the Senate, on the Florida
House.
Florida House.
Yes.
Then you have been elected appraisal of Dade County.
Yes.
So where did your career started?
My career started being elected to the Florida House. I ran for the first time in 2002, and I was actually unsuccessful in that campaign. I had lost my first campaign, and it was obviously it was very difficult at the time to lose the election, but in retrospect, it has taught me that God has a plan for all of us, and you need to trust in His will, because in the time between the losing of the election and then the one that I won in 2004, I met my wife, who I'm married to, and we have two beautiful daughters. And had I been elected in 2002, I believe that maybe I would not have been at that place where I met her, that night that I met her, if I had been elected. So everything happens for a reason, and looking back, I'm very happy that things worked out the way they have.
Now you're Lieutenant Governor of Florida. You're assisting Governor Rick Scott. What is the job of a Lieutenant Governor exactly?
The job of the Lieutenant Governor primarily is, in the Constitution, is to be like the Vice President. If, God forbid, something were to happen to the Governor, if he were to lose his life or be incapacitated, the Lieutenant Governor would assume the role of Governor. But more practically, my job is to ensure that his agenda, which is my agenda, it's our agenda, of creating more jobs for Floridians, ensuring that we, every year, give money back to the taxpayers via tax cuts, which we have done every year to the amount of $7 billion over the last 7 years, and to ensure that our education system is one that prepares our students today to be either employers or employees in the job market of tomorrow. Not just the job market of today. We want them to be prepared for when they graduate, anticipating what the job market and what the economy looks like, not only tomorrow as far as this year, but in decades to come, because this is our economy is going through a metamorphosis right now with the technology and the smartphone and the tablet and the applications that are now taking the place of things that we became accustomed to for many, many years are now being replaced with technology, which is not a bad thing. I believe it's very good for the economy. It makes things more efficient. But as these things happen, the job market and the labor force needs to adapt as well. So we want to make sure that we are focusing our schools or middle schools, high schools, colleges, and universities to ensure that these students that are in Florida not only are prepared for today, but prepared for tomorrow, and hopefully we want to convince them to stay in Florida, not just to get an education here and then go somewhere else. We want them to stay here in Florida, so we are trying to diversify our economy.
You just anticipated, so we're going to get to that conversation, the education. You know, the education system is a very big concern in our community and the Haitian community. Now, when it comes to your relationship with the governor, with Rick Scott, do you meet him like on a daily basis, on a weekly basis?
Well, the governor travels around the state a lot more than I do because, well, he has a plane and he's able to fly, and I have to drive, which is wonderful. I've driven this whole state, and it's a beautiful state. So we don't see each other every day, maybe not even every week, but we talk on the phone regularly. He calls me or I call him, and we're constantly having conversations about things that we've observed while on our travels, concerns or issues that have been brought up to us, and we share it with each other, and we come up with ideas to help people. The governor is the kind of person who, as much as some people are hesitant to call him, he likes having people call him on the phone and share with him whatever their concerns are, because he believes his job and our job is to make things better. But we don't know everything, so the best way we can make things better is by people letting us know what we need to focus on.
We know that the state of Florida is going through a lot of issues, some major issues like education, like housing. What is the biggest issue that we are going through right now? The state of Florida.
Actually, our education system is doing much better than it has in many years. We have every year we have increased the funding to education. We have had record levels of funding every year for the past 4 years. And here closer to home, Miami-Dade County, if you look at how our changes in education are working, this is the first year ever that there was not one F school. Because you know that every year the schools are graded A, B, C, D, and F, similar like when we took exams in school, you get an A or an F, or a B or a C or D. And this is the first year that not one school in Miami-Dade County received an F score, which shows progress. And we also need to recognize the incredible job that Superintendent Carvalho has been doing, and the members of the school board. The proof is in what you're seeing. No change in government will happen overnight. And government will never be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. But as long as you are striving towards perfection and striving towards progress, things will get better, and they have gotten better. And the proof is in the outcomes that we're seeing in the education system. Another priority of the state, which is a priority of the governor's minds, is continuing to grow jobs, more jobs in Florida. We want to make sure everybody who wants a job can get a job. And since the recession, Florida has added 1.4 million jobs in the private sector. Right now, there are 240,000 job openings in the state of Florida. Our home prices have gone up nearly 9% since the recession. We've paid down state debt. We've cut taxes every year. We have healthy reserves. We have a balanced budget. Our state is fiscally rated as one of the top, if not the top state in the country for fiscal responsibility, because we are very responsible with our taxpayers' money. We remember that it is the taxpayers who are the boss, not the elected officials. It's the people who pay the taxes.
Lieutenant Governor, when we look at what is going on, what is happening right now in Houston with the Hurricane Harvey, so in Florida, should we be concerned, or how we prepared for a kind of catastrophe like this?
Texas does not have the experience with hurricanes that Florida has, and especially South Florida. I was here, I was about 18 or 19 years old during Hurricane Andrew, and we've obviously learned a lot from that. We had a year that we had 5 storms crisscross the state over the summer. That was 2005, I believe. So we have our building code that is specifically designed to be resistant to strong winds and flooding. We have a lot of other financial programs in place in the state to anticipate and be prepared for hurricanes. But the most important thing that a community can do is always, one, be cognizant of what's happening in the tropics. Watch TV. Make sure that you're following the local news or Island TV to know that if there's a storm, that could be a problem. For instance, right now in the Atlantic, there's a storm called Irma. It is a Category 3 hurricane. It is forecast to only to strengthen. It, based on the last track that I saw, it's possible that it could impact Haiti in the next week. And some of the models having it come south of Florida, some of the models having it coming over the Keys, and some of the models have it coming similar to the path of Matthew, but a little farther up the coast of Florida. So the thing is to be aware, be prepared always. You know, you can go to floridadisaster.org, our website, and we have a list of things that you should be focused on. Make sure you have enough water, make sure you have food. If a storm is threatening, make sure that you have filled your car up with gas. Make sure that you have any medicines, any prescription medicines to last you for a couple weeks should a storm affect your community or if you were to lose power, for instance. Those are the things that we are accustomed to hearing every summer here in Florida, because people like me go out and remind people, be prepared. To talk a little bit about Harvey, they're experiencing a level of disaster that is without precedent.
The situation is really bad.
I spoke to one of our emergency operations officials this morning who was in Texas over the weekend, who took a boat over there with some other officials from our state and was rescuing people. And he told me that it was a devastation that, like he had never seen. And this is his business, emergency operations and response. And he told me something that I cannot forget, which is, if you look at Texas as a state, as geographically as a landmass, the amount of area that has experienced significant flood damage, if you took that amount of land and put it over Florida, it would cover the entire state from Gainesville to the Keys.
Wow.
That is how much area of Texas has had very bad damage. This is something that is going to take years and tens of billions, if not more than $100 billion to repair. But the good thing about, there's always a silver lining to everything. And I think one thing that we can take away from this and at least be happy about is that we're seeing what America really means in Texas right now. People driving from all states around the union to volunteer their time, their energy, their resources to help those who are in need. That is what the United States of America is about, and it makes me proud as a citizen.
A lot of mercy on them. So it's time now to take a break. We will be right back for the discussion with the Lieutenant Governor Carlos Lopez Cantera. We'll be back.